Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. Nate and Josh coming to you guys here on Friday with 9 games in the NBA after Christmas. Hope everybody had a great break there. We're going to be taking a look at the best bets we have. Also have some player props in this episode, so make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Continue to follow along with us all season. Let's go ahead and run into the first game you're talking about here. Pretty high scoring on the total. We got the Hawks and we got the Heat here. Nate, talk about why you like the Hawks to cover in this one with Bam now downgraded to doubtful as recently as like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, so that's why it's moved a point. Yeah, I mean, I was grabbing it at -2.5, hoping Bam would not be good to go here. Lower back issue. Yeah, that's tough to play through. We know Tyler Hero's out, and we know Dyson Daniels is coming back. So big advantages here for the Hawks. And Trey just kind of getting ramped back up. Of course, the defensive rating looks terrible with Trey Young back for 3 games here, but do they really suck that bad defensively, or is there just some 3-point regression coming here? Against a Heat team that's just been awful, desperate for shot making, right? 33% from 3 in their last 10, tied worst offensive rating in that span, worst true shooting percentage, in fact, worst in the NBA. And so desperate enough that they've played Kasper Jakučinas and the young man from Illinois, out of Illinois, from Lithuania, 128 defensive rating, just a complete liability on that side. So Trey will be able to pick at him, as will Na and Dyson Daniels even. I mean, 3-point regression on both sides for the Hawks. They shot the 3-star or lead guards, I guess you could say, Trey, JJ, and Na shot 4 for 22 in that Bulls game as they collapsed an 18-point lead, allowing the Bulls to come all the way back. That type of stuff is just something you can target as like regression is coming. Hawks offense good, Heat offense very, very bad. Heat bad all around without Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, no question. I mean, it's just not the same. Like Khalil Ware is really great, especially when he's playing alongside Bam. That's when he's looked really, really, really good. I'm not saying he's not good against backups at times, but this is just really a spot where I don't see very many advantages for the Heat here. As you talk about the one-on-one defense that the Hawks are capable of when they're talking about Dyson, when you're talking about JJ, obviously, and then just now you have to limit basically like Norm Powell, make sure that that Davion doesn't get into the lane. Like there's just not much to worry about for the Heat on offense at this point, which you kind of mentioned, and it's scary to take points even as fast as they're playing with how poorly they're playing on offense and still kind of okay on defense. They just play so fast that they give up a lot of points here. But I'm going to go West. Talk about the Clippers being better than the Blazers, at least right now. I mean, we've been waiting for a turnaround. One game does not a turnaround make. I'm not going to just say that because 2 games, just because they won 2 games. One of them was the Rockets, right? So like that's legit, no question. And when you look at the way that this Portland team is playing, man, like they're starving for something outside of Shaedon Sharpe and Denny Avdia. There is no offense outside of those 2 guys, which is something we've been talking about. Caleb Love is someone that they're now going to be bringing on. I'm not talking trash at all on Caleb Love's game at all. It's just this is now where they're turning is to the Rook to be able to kind of bring them some extra offense, because as much as I love Toumani Camara, my Belgian brethren, like he's just not it on offense in terms of shot creation. They have 2 guys creating shots, and really, like as good of a facilitator as Denny is, he's more of a point guard by force, by like lack of other guards to go around. And God loves Shaedon Sharpe's ability to score and jump stupid high out above the rim. Like it's just not going to be good for your offense if that's it. If it's just a ISO ball with him shooting the ball roughly 44% from the field, probably putting up 18 to 22 shots in that range. Like if he's not hitting 50+%, then you don't have much of an offense, and the other team's getting it and going, which isn't something you worry about with this Clippers team, but I do think you start to worry about Kawhi in the half court. That's going to be Toumani Camara's matchup in this one. Kawhi's all the way up at 26.5 points now after a couple of really big games against the Lake Show, winning by 15 and then dominating the Rockets by 20. It's not really necessarily the like offensive output. This isn't like a team that you're like, oh man, they're going to get it and go. I'm going to watch some beautiful offense. You're going to watch Kawhi and James Harden do James Harden and Kawhi stuff. That's what they're going to do. And on defense, as long as they can maintain what they've been doing a little bit better, like at least about a 115, 116 defensive rating at this point might be all they need, rather than the sort of 109, 110 defensive rating that they relied upon last year where they weren't winning if that wasn't the case. So Portland's going in the other direction big time, and it makes complete sense as they've been playing some pretty good teams. Now they have another one that's really tough here after back-to-back against Detroit and Orlando. This is just a tough matchup, 3rd game of 4 nights. I do like the Clippers to keep going in this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was looking at this game for an over potentially, thinking the Clippers would be playing faster, better on offense without Zoo. They are playing better on offense, but
Yeah.
the Blazers without Jeremy Grant, their offensive ratings dropped by 10 points. Like you said, they're just starved for that third shot creator. And the Clippers, there could be a theory here that just getting Zoo is a fantastic player, but not a shooter, right? Just getting Collins or Brook Lopez in there at the 5 just
Right.
opens up all the other spacing stuff for Kawhi and James Harden to keep doing what they're doing on offense. And if they get a bad defense, a bad opponent, they can hold it down defensively without Zoo. Pelicans plus 5.5 at home. At home being the key phrase here. Not going to be back in the Pelicans on the road much, but they come back after getting smacked before Christmas by the Cavs. And I think, what we saw on Christmas from the Cavs is a little more like Cavs are back, man. Their offense is looking good again. So I don't want to downgrade the Pelicans as much as I think the market is here. And I don't want to continue to think the Suns are world beaters. We kind of laughed for a while at wow, apparently the Suns are just an elite team. They've regressed to being an average team. They're pretty good but their average defensive rating, their offense is bottom 5 in the last 7. They've been most dependent on points off turnovers lately, that whole Dylan Brooks ball. And the Pels are down to the 3rd lowest turnover rate in their last 7 at home. Should also note Grayson Allen's going to be out for this one, and he lit the Pelicans up for 42 points on 10 for 15 from 3 to give the Suns the win earlier this year. But, it's a completely different Pelicans team in terms of who they're throwing out there, in terms of Zion actually playing well and engaged kind of in more of an off-ball role. They had won 4 straight with Zion prior to that Cavs game. They had won 4 straight at home in general, and nearly beat the Spurs and nearly beat the Wolves twice at home. Certainly covering, a number like this. Suns are just not on that level. Their center rotation still a mess. Mark Williams still can just be absolutely awful from night to night. You really don't know what you're going to get. And if you're not able to defend the paint against a Zion and Derek Queen led team, I think the Pels can score with these boys.
Yeah, it just feels weird coming out of my mouth to say anything positive about the Pelicans, but this is the moment of the season that they have every year where they're healthy for a little bit. DeJounte Murray notwithstanding, Zion is healthy is what I'm trying to say. And I'm really interested to watch Zion and Derek Queen play together. Derek Queen is a really, really good center to have alongside Zion. If he's going to start hitting threes, which might come next season. That seems like the off-season workout for Derek Queen is keep chucking those long balls. Other than that, I love those two guys on the floor together right now. And Jordan Poole coming off the bench is probably where Jordan Poole should always be playing, is coming off the bench because of instant offense and that just being a nice burst of 6 to 7 minutes rather than have him out there as the lead ball handler for a freaking quarter. You just don't want that. And I think that's what they're starting to see. Poor Willie Green. I'm not anti Willie Green, but yeah, things definitely he definitely needed to go, man, at that point, and things have turned around a bit with health. So I don't have much on the Suns, unfortunately. I don't watch many Suns games, but I do like the Pellies right now for what I'm seeing from them. So I'm going to go over to Toronto and say that they're going to handle business in Washington. I think Washington is bad. I don't think that's hard to say. They are dead last, and I don't know everything. The standings, giving up points down low, giving up points up high, where in a box with a fox, whatever you want, you can get it against Washington. And for Toronto, you've been calling it for a minute now. Do not trust their offense. It's not their offense that you trust to do much. It is absolutely their defense here. But really, the biggest angle for me, more than anything, is that they're on the road, and so there's probably a few points going towards Washington just for them being a home team. I don't know why. There's really no splits to tell you that anything other than Toronto is better on the road and Washington is not good wherever they play, as mentioned a minute ago. So what are we worried about here? 15 points per game is the average margin of defeat for Washington in our nation's capital, where that massacres are continuously coming for them. And then you talk about Toronto on the road. They are a top 5 road cover team. They are 9-7 covering on the road here, but the fact that they're also up by about 4 points per game is their point per game differential. I guess, with Washington, I give Toronto another 2 to 3 points playing against this team. I think 7 is relatively fair, but I think that they end up running away with this one towards the end of the game, because we have seen from Washington right now what they're doing and what they're showing us is everybody's getting 25. Everybody's getting 25 to 28 minutes. Once you get Bilal back, you've got Trey Johnson off the bench. You've got Bub Carrington off the bench. We're getting Bagley. We're getting a little bit of Vukcevic still off the bench. Guys like Alex Sarr and Keyshawn George are not just getting full 34-minute games, right? That's the key to me, is that they're just playing their backups. This is not a season they're trying to win, and that's a big reason why they've been losing by so much so frequently, and why I'm not scared of taking Toronto to cover, mostly because, like I said, of their defense being able to come along and then everything's easy down low for them. I like Sandro Mamukelashvili in this game. Keep an eye on him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna point that out. Because Scotty Barnes as well, questionable with an illness. Maybe you get a little bit of value if he doesn't play here, but Toronto, even with Brandon Ingram leading the way, probably takes care of business here. Washington, like you say, yeah, they just let go of the rope in so many games where they just pop up. If CJ is not scoring 40 and they don't randomly win or force overtime, they're getting absolutely rolled. Player props, Pascal Siakam and the Pacers have also been very, very bad, but it's kind of a pride play here at home after they were not competitive in Boston 3 nights ago, but now back home. And Siakam being the pros pro who just goes out there, does yeoman's work on this awful team, was overworked over early in the year, but as he started to get a little more rest, you see the numbers kind of go up. And that's the key here on 2 days rest. He averages 8 rebounds and 3.7 assists compared to just 6 rebounds on 1 day's rest. He's also averaging more dimes at home at 4.3 on the season. He has 4+ dimes in 5 of his last 7 at home. Another maybe home scorekeeper help. Another maybe just other guys shooting better off your passes at home. And he's gotten up to play Boston in last 4 with the Pacers. 21 points, 8.5 rebounds, 3.8 assists. He did it mostly with the points last time against Boston, but at home with the Boston shooting not as well. Typically on the road, more rebounding opportunities. They are still 25th in defensive rebounding rate on the road are the Celtics. Yeah, I mean, he's just second in rebound chances on a team that doesn't have a good rebounding center. So they need him to come down there, pinch and get the boards. And he's still leading the Pacers in minutes per game because he is still their leader this year.
Yeah, for sure. Love Pascal whenever you get the matchup as well, and if you like the rebounds and the assists both, and yeah, no qualms with putting them together. But sticking in this game, I do like TJ also still. Just such a thin rotation for Indy that once you put TJ up at like a pretty much guaranteed like 17, 18 minutes, kind of all he needs. If you look at him in the games this season where he's played 16 to 20 minutes and any kind of range right there, obviously averaging about 18 in those games. Talking about 19 PRA per 18 minutes on the season for this dude. So like he could get to 16 very easily in 16 minutes. He's averaging 14.9 or 15.1 right around that range when he's playing anything around 16 minutes. So you give him 14 to 18 minutes. You look at all the games where he's playing, it doesn't matter. Like the minute ranges are going to be higher for him in this one with my projection. You got no Ben Shepherd. There's one more out tag that I'm already forgetting, but I have it right here. That's going to help him get a few more minutes as well. This is one of the first games on the slate. We got Ben Shepherd still out. And then Tyrese, Obi, Nesmith, Isaiah Jackson is going to be another guy coming off the bench. Anybody coming off the bench right now that's out for Indy, everybody gets a little bump because they're so thin and they don't want to have to go all the way to the very end of the bench for guys like Cam Jones or other G Leaguers that you've probably also never heard of. So I just like the matchup doesn't matter to me. It's not like a good matchup to play Boston, but he's going to get a lineup that's going to have like Anthony Simons and Sam Hauser on it because those guys are coming off the bench. I like that. I like that a lot. The Boston defensive unit, the second unit, is not as good defensively at all. So just like TJ to get the minutes, I think 20 plus is a very reasonable projection for him in this one, which means he should probably be closer to 19 or 20 PRA.
Yeah, same page really is these two guys, TJ and Siakam, being kind of like the source of pride for the Pacers at home. And if you worry about a matchup, I mean, TJ was last seen dicing up the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals. Like he has no problem dealing with tough defense, and the Celtics second unit is not really that. But Tobias Harris will not be facing a tough defense with Detroit at Utah tonight, and Toby coming off a great game against Sacramento. Now in his last 3, averaging just 17 points a game straight up, despite shooting 17% on drives. And now you're facing a team that allows you to shoot 71% at the rim, that allows opponents to shoot 50% overall and gives up free throws. 31, a league high 31 in their last 10. So obviously they're giving up the most points, most assists, most anything you want against the Utah Jazz. Tobias getting it done, both second in pull-ups, second in paint touch points. He's right behind Cade in adjusted assist to pass ratio, third in overall passes, third in minutes per game in his last 5. Everything you want in terms of opportunity and matchup. That's really all you got there is just like play a staple in the rotation against the Utah Jazz. I'm not as worried about him getting lifted like he was a few games ago, because it's just such a cakewalk matchup, and because I think he's starting to really round into form as that third option consistently for Detroit.
Yeah, I'll just say that the Jazz are averaging 252 points per game at home in their last 5 home games. So there's points to go around, and I'm not going to tell you to take an under on a single player in this game. It's one of those where I think they're playing Markkanen, I believe. I don't think he's got any out tags because they know they probably can't win this game. He's not. There's everybody's available except for Walker, obviously out for the season, Niang, but like. Yeah, there's nothing to not like about both of these squads going ham. We just saw Detroit. What was that game, like 260 something, right? Was the total with the Kings in this last one that you were just mentioning. So yeah, there's going to be points to go around on this West Coast stretch for Detroit there, who plays great on the road as well, by the way. Let me close it out with Miles. It's just the time is right to take 5.5 boards for Miles Bridges. Usually if he's at 5.5, usually he's at 6.5 when you see somebody like LaMelo or if Khan, I don't think Khan's missed any games, but guys like that are like the wing guys who have the ball in their hands. A lot of times you'll see Miles go up to about 6.5. Well, right now the only center playing is Musa. I think Plumlee might be around for a little bit, but like it's really Musa Diabate, and that's about it. And then Miles Bridges is consistently, if not always, the second best rebounder on the floor. This is also because Kalkbrenner is out. Ryan Kalkbrenner, the rook who's been starting and getting 25 minutes or so for them, he's gone. So there's not much left for rebounding for him. And this is where I would want to take this in terms of the matchup for him against Orlando. Like this is not the same Orlando team without Franz, without Goga is questionable now. So you're talking about Wendell Carter Jr. essentially being the big Paolo. Those are the two guys. So there's going to be rebound, but they're not going to be the same rebounding team that they are when they have 3 guys starting at 6'10", right? For the Magic here, it's not going to be the same when you get a little bit more Tristan da Silva and Anthony Black, both very good rebounders in their own right. But Miles Bridges, bigger guy, power forward at this point. So yeah, I'm going to like him for that. The last thing is he's guarding Paolo. You look at the matchup with Orlando, it actually puts you in a really good spot on the court when you're defending Paolo to go get rebounds. You're either playing on the baseline or you're playing out on the wing extended where he's driving to the hoop and trying to go. So I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities for Miles from basically just where he's standing on the floor to go ahead and get at least 6 boards in this one.
Yeah, it just sounds like a black and blue game. Charlotte at Orlando, lots of misses. You'd think under 238.5. I know these teams have spiked in offense this year, but rebounding opportunities to go around. And yeah, like you said, he was 6.5 a couple games ago. Almost thought about taking it, and he got hooked on the 6, but 6 will get it done for you tonight.
Yeah, 5.5 is the number that we like in the market for him. So that is all the time we have for you guys in this one, though. Definitely make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Continue to follow along. We will be back here next week with more NBA action. Plus, we've got that NFL Pick 6 looks for you guys as well on the site. So until we see you next, happy betting.